guys, it's Amber and I am getting ready to start on day 16. So I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing a double page spread here. This was during a snowstorm. It actually was on the 16th and I took the photo early in the day. It was like a late afternoon overnight storm. So I took it when I got home and then we ended up getting like 6 or 7 inches, which is the most snow we've had in Eastern PA in a while, for a couple years at least. But it's a 7 by 8 and a quarter, sorry, 14 inch by 8 and a quarter. So each side will be 7 inches. It'll probably get split right through this tree here. And I originally had a different photo planned where I was like taking a selfie in front of the house. But my plan was to make a tag booklet very similar to what I did on day 2, where I had a poinsettia photo, and I did some texture paste on this holiday magic card, just like I did on that card, just for some texture and variety. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is put a 3x4 pocket on here, just like I did there. Well, it'll be cut down to 3x3 so it can stick out. And then I'm considering either layering the 16 on there just like I did with the other one, or potentially adding the 2x2 square on there and putting something in the middle as a double layer. And then I have several ideas here. So I want to cut these into that same tag shape. So a really beautiful sunset on my way home where the lights of the traffic lights were kind of bokeh-y and there was a sunset. You can see some snow on the ground. My boyfriend's snow blowing me out so I could get out of the driveway in the morning, and then a selfie that I took during the snow, like at the same time. So those will be cut into tags. And then I'll put some ribbon on here. And I pulled out several pieces. I'm looking at this brand new chipboard set from the 2020 Studio Calico December kit because it has this Let It Snow and it's black, which would look really good with this black chipboard here. And then I could find a third piece. I pulled out a couple things. I don't really know where I'm going with this yet. I have this rubber winter piece from Jasmine Jones, one of her December daily kits in the past few years. I've got 2 wooden pieces here that have a snowflake and say Snow Day. Those are from Ellie's Studio. I have some snowflake charms that I got at Hobby Lobby that I might tie right here where I put the ribbon in. I pulled out 2 die cut tags from the 2020 collection with Allie. This blue one that says Let It Snow. I probably won't use this one if I use the black chipboard. I have this gray tag with a snowflake on it. And I picked out 3 of the blue transparency pieces that have the Let It Snow, the same snowflake, and then a star pattern. They might not be the right tone for our house because it's green, but I had thought maybe if I did the 2-inch layered circle that I could do, you know, something like that, just to give it a little something. Not quite sure yet. So stars on stars with chipboard. Let's see. I also grabbed, because I'm still really not sure where this one's going, this snowflake punch from EK Success. I kind of thought it'd be cool if I like punched out a piece of the photo, you know, somewhere maybe in here or up here. I grabbed these loop pins from Tim Holtz. Instead of maybe doing ribbon for the booklet, I might use a pin here to hold everything together and just put a tiny little bow on it instead of a huge stapled on piece. Something to help hold them all together. I have these snowflake collection from Crepe Paper, this Snow Day. This is another black piece that maybe I could use with the Let It Snow and have that sticking out at the top. And then I also grabbed this Let It Snow 3x8 transparency, but it's bright red, and I don't think I love that. So I probably won't be using it, but I had grabbed it out. And then this other option, I told you, I'm still undecided. I have this great snowflake paper from Crepe Paper, and then I also have this coveted Hambley's Green Prints Frosty Snowflakes pattern. Which I'm actually considering maybe instead of doing the pocket here, maybe doing a transparency in the middle, the way it flips, and then you see the other half of the photo, and having this be on there instead, and being on the transparency. And then I could just back it with a filler card or an embellishment on the other side. Maybe something, you know, like that. We'll see. So I'm kind of actually leaning more towards that. And if I do cut it to a full 7 by 8 1/4, I'm considering using a different photo. So basically, if I do change my mind, it would be this selfie version, like blown up here with the house in the background. But I originally didn't want to do it because the way I took it, you know, you can only hold your arm so far out in front of you while you take selfies, is that I'm like taking up this much of the photo. So like a little bit of me would have been cut and had holes punched, which would have been fine. But then I felt like it was way too crowded to put a tag in this corner. So now I just have to decide, do I put this in there with the tag booklet? Do I not? Do I go with the big blown up photo like I wanted and then instead do this transparency, which I actually think would look really awesome. So, and I could still do it like, you know, a little booklet. I can put the journaling on the back of one of these. I could put the pattern paper on the back of a photo. I could do like a die cut in the back of the photo. And by using more blue, I could potentially use these somehow. So I have a lot of decisions to make, but I kind of just wanted to show you where I was thinking of going with this. I have a lot of ideas, and I don't think it needs to be more than a multi-page spread. And I don't want to make it more complicated than it needs to be. So that's kind of also where I'm stuck. And then the other thing too that I was looking at is like this Magic in the Air has stars and it's like a great green to match. I thought that would be a cute chipboard. And this I chose says Holiday Magic, so that could be cute to tie in somehow. But like I don't want it to be too much, obviously. You know, with the snowflake being punched out, that would only really be helpful if I don't attach photos to the back sides of these. I'm going to have to for at least one of them. Probably both. So I'm not sure if it would be effective, but I could do a tag with the snowflake punched out layered in there, and that could be really cute. So let me put you on pause for a little bit, do some more thinking. And then when I come back, we'll start the process. I'll have you on fast forward and we will figure it out. Since I'm still really not sure. I kind of love the selfie photo with the house, but I also like, it's nice just having the whole house because we might be moving soon. Who knows? It shows the garage in the back and the porch and just the snowflakes everywhere. So I just have to decide what I'm doing. Alright guys, so I wanted to start just telling you a little bit about what I've been working on here. So I'm playing with the blue circles, the paper die cuts, the half-size ones from the 2020 add-ons. I pulled out a wooden piece that says Baby It's Cold Outside from Colorcast Designs. And I originally had out that wood piece that said Snow Day, but I realized that the black paperclip up top says Snow Day. And so I didn't want to have duplicate phrases. So I'm just trying to really pay attention to that. So I went ahead without doing too much fussing around. I actually made pretty quick decisions with this layout, which is kind of rare for me. But I went ahead and stapled down the blue snowflake. I also briefly considered for a moment punching some white cardstock to go behind it, but it actually looked better without it, which I usually prefer for something to be behind the transparencies, but just look really pretty. So I stapled that down and cut it off, interacting with the edge, added that Let It Snow chipboard, and I'm going to do the same with the snowflake as well. So all of those are going to interact with the edges. And then I am trying to figure out which part of the pattern I like the most. So I'm going to cut my sheet down using my photo as a guide because it's slightly under 7 inches and it's not quite 6 3/4, it's like a little over. So I got that piece cut, and then now I'm going to add that large 3-inch round wooden circle. That's from several December dailies ago, either 2015 or 2016 possibly. And I put it right on the corner and had 2 edges go off, which I thought was kind of fun. And some of them I layered on top of the transparency, and some of them I had go below it. And I just used some simple red line tape in the corners and then on the edges of the circle to really make sure it stayed down. And then I also used that Let It Snow blue circle upside down because it had like a little snowy look to it. And I was debating like if I was wasting it, and I decided, you know what, just go for it because it might not ever match anything else. This way I'm using all 3 blue circles in this layout, and it coordinates, so I just decided to go ahead and go for it. And then I had debated also if I was going to put the wood pieces there below or on top of the transparency, but I like having some on the left, some on the top, and some on the bottom underneath. It just helps make it look like there's more depth going on. So then here I'm playing with the 2-inch by 2-inch pocket. What I did is I used red line tape to attach the chipboard. And then I put a little of sticker underneath the chipboard above the circle to keep it in place so it doesn't slide out of the pocket. And then I'm going to use red line tape to attach that to the well, it was a 3x4 pocket, but it's now been cut down to 3x3. And then I'm also going to use red line tape to attach that one as well. I'm using some pretty big pieces because this is going to be a thick booklet, and I'm hoping that it won't show through too much to the other side because of the pattern on the transparency. And it's not terrible, like it's not super obvious because I also end up using a little bit of pattern paper, which helps as well. So I'm just trying to get everything aligned and centered there. And then I'm going to start pulling out some ribbon. So I have this May Arts twill ribbon in a couple different colors, and it's funny because looking back now, that blue doesn't seem too bad. It really coordinates with the scarf, but when I put it down, it was like, holy moly, that's way too bright. I tried adding a little bit of black sparkly stuff, so I was really hoping to play with a couple different types, but I ended up going with the black and white. It just allowed the photo to stand out and the embellishments instead of like your eye being drawn right to that ribbon. It just was really bright in person. So here I am playing with making a tag that will just like go into the little tag booklet and have the snowflake punched out. And my first one that I did was with some Basil white cardstock. And then I also tried it with vellum thinking it would look beautiful, and it just jammed up my punch. It tore and was a hot mess, so I edited all that footage out. I do think that it would have looked really pretty, with the vellum if I had been able to get it to work, but I didn't really honestly want to keep bothering to try. But I also punched a little bit lower than I wanted to, but I didn't want to recut a new one just to put the snowflake up higher, so I just went with it. And then there I'm just taking the snowflake paper from Crate Paper, and then I'm going to put that on the back of the back tag photo that's going to be showing in the pocket. And I'm just using my power punch to get the holes punched before moving on to journaling. Okay guys, getting ready to finish my final stages here. I created a journaling block. I selected a color blue from the photo here, somewhere right around there. And then I made a 3x4 block, added my journaling. This is Remington Noiseless, and I believe size 11. And then I added some old Ally word art from Hello Winter, I think it was called. And then I reduced the opacity so that you could still see the writing on top of it. So I'm going to cut that out, and that is going to be on the back of this tag because the washi tape ripped it when I was doing my texture paste. I'm going to get that cropped out, and then I've got some twine here to help tie things together. Okay guys, so I actually had to turn the camera off while I figured out how to tie all this. I don't even know what I did. I wrapped it around there a couple times, kept it loose enough that I could open the pages. Decided to leave this on in case it gets a little loose, so I can tie it tight again. But I've got the charm tied on loose enough that it can dangle. I wanted it to hang down a little more, but I'm working on stretching it out. And then I stapled the ribbon. I couldn't staple it to the card like I wanted because that would affect this, so I just stapled it above it, and it's only on the first card. So we have my Holiday Magic opener, my journaling on the back. I have my see-through piece, the sunset photo, sorry. I put the little Let It Snow die cut on the back, Jarrett snibbling, and then this will be on the back because when it is in the pocket, which hopefully it all fits in there because it's getting a little chunky, once it's in the pocket you'll see some of the pattern on the back, and I was kind of hoping it would help hide some of the red line tape. I could cover this with something else. And I actually did consider using this paper die cut with another wooden piece on the back. So let's see. It's a little chunky though, so I kind of wish now I had pulled off the layers of chipboard. I didn't, because right here where they connect, it was like very, very weak. I don't know if you can see that. I was really worried it was going to rip apart because it's so barely connected on there. So it's just going to be a little chunky. But I really love it. I think it came out nice. I love that I was able to incorporate the blue all throughout. I wanted to include some of this velvet ribbon, but just wasn't going to work. And then you can still see the wooden piece. And then when you flip the page, this is where I was considering kind of using the snowflake and this wooden piece to help still have like a set of 3, or I was thinking maybe I might have to use it up here to like help cover something, or just ignore it. Actually, if this is big enough, I could punch that into a circle and still use this down here, but I'm afraid to put the wood piece there because it's so thick already. But I really like the look of it. I think it looks pretty. think I'm going to do that though. And I don't want to like waste this, but I'm just worried I won't use it. But I think I'm going to punch it out and use it to cover it up there. So it's just under 1.5 inches. Looks pretty good there. Looks cute the way it's not like totally centered. Or is it better centered? Just dead centered. I'm going to use really strong adhesive since it's just a die cut. And of course I just thought about it, but that would have been a really cute place to put a tiny little stamp and maybe like emboss it or something. I'm not gonna do that. It's sticking over a teeny bit right there, but with the snowflake pattern, I don't think anyone's gonna notice. I'm debating if I should maybe trim these a little bit. So they're not quite so long. I kind of want them tucked underneath the snowflake if I can, so they're not everywhere. But yeah, I was trying to figure out, like normally I would maybe try some ribbon on here, or I was thinking maybe a little piece of red line tape there that it will help keep it from falling off, because it goes on there pretty well. I did use the staple, but now I'm thinking that some red line tape would be a good idea just to secure it. And I actually liked the look of the staple on there, but I like the black part centered. There's a little tiny hair on there. But I actually like the black piece centered over the blue more. Hopefully that'll actually stick. I'm not pulling super hard because I don't want it to come off, but hopefully that'll help a little. I even thought about putting a staple over there, but the paper clip's so thick. I'm not sure it will work. So pretty cute. I guess it's not too fat. I could just go ahead and do it. cute. I'm really happy with how this came out. It came out even better than I imagined. Love the wood with the snow. I think that looks really pretty. I still had wanted to use this like winter piece, and I thought that would look really cool if I had bent it around, but it's just like a little too much with everything else going on. Although it's kind of cute, like with that little collage there. Still really like that. What's going on? Why not, right? So I'm going to get some tape on here, and then I will leave you with some photos right at the end. Thanks so much for watching, and I really appreciate you sticking with me with my videos. Make sure you subscribe so you get an automatic notification when I post, and I will see you soon for day 17. Thanks again.